Oh, I'm so excited about
Me
this.
too.
Okay, let's get right into it. What books do you have for us today?
Okay, so I have 3 book recommendations to share with you that are all on the darker side because it is spooky season, but in a variety of genres to change things up. So I will start with the witchiest book of the bunch. This is called Wayward by Amelia Hart, and this is about 3 women over 500 years that are all connected by a little cottage called Wayward. So the first woman in the 1690s is being tried for witchcraft, and then we have a woman in the 1940s and a woman in modern day who are both going through their own hardships, which I won't give away, and they all end up in this little cottage finding out their resilience and finding their power, and each chapter is told from one of their points of view, which I find very fun. And I found this book because it just stared at me on the bookshelf because the cover is so beautiful. And the vibes, like the birds and nature and like bugs that are kind of described in this book that you can kind of see on the cover, it's very tangible in the book, which is really fun. So the vibe that you get from this cover is the vibe that you get from this book.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Very fun.
Oh, I like
so
that.
that's book recommendation number 1.
Okay.
I will lighten things up in the middle with Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. So this is a feel-good murder mystery, if I may describe it that way.
Are, you know?
Vera Wong is an elderly Chinese lady. She owns a tea shop that not many people visit these days. She's quite lonely. Her husband has passed away. Her son doesn't visit her enough. She comes downstairs to her tea shop one day and sees a dead man on the floor, face down. And she decides that she is going to take this murder investigation into her own hands and find the murder on her own. She very cleverly brings a bunch of suspects together, except they become her friends, and she sort of becomes their grandma figure. But she's very conflicted because one of them is the murderer. So she's gonna find out still which one it is. And this book has a really fun found family vibe, found family trope, which I really enjoyed, which is just when people who don't plan on becoming family, maybe sometimes they're enemies or they're colleagues or whatever, by the end of the book, they're family, which is really nice. So a little sort of feel-good moment.
While you're talking about the found families, I think that that's something that's common in a lot of books right now. Like it's, you know, about, again, we have our families that we're born into, right? Like you can't choose, but it's about that. What is there's a popular book right now. Is it The Chemist or what is it?
Lessons in Chemistry.
Yes, isn't that about found family too?
Yes, it is. Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis is another book that I recently listened to, actually, which was absolutely lovely. And same kind of thing. That one, it really snuck up on me that there was a found family by the end, and really, really enjoyed that. So if you like found family, because it is such a popular book trope, then check out Vera Wong and Lessons in Chemistry.
Great. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then last but not least, sort of going back to some bleak kind of vibes.
Yes, let's do it, yes.
Maybe a bit of transition from spooky season to winter. We have Moon of the Crusted Snow by Wabgijig Rice. So this is a dystopian novel. It sort of has post-apocalypse kind of vibes. It's about the power, internet, and phone lines going down, but very much focused on a very remote Anishinaabe community in northern Ontario. So we're very focused on what they're doing and how they're coming together to survive, and we hear a lot about their traditions as well that they're using to get through this. And then an unexpected, uninvited visitor shows up and essentially throws chaos into further chaos. And what I found interesting about this, it's quite short, as you can see, which is nice sometimes.
Like that.
You don't get a lot of answers about the bigger picture, what's going on, because it is so focused on this community. But the reason that I read this recently was actually because book 2 just came out. So Moon of the Turning Leaves, another book cover that really caught my eye. And this actually takes place 10 years after the events in book 1. And you can see there's probably a bit more of an explanation here that we're going to get. So very excited to read this. Haven't read this one yet. So those are my 3 recommendations for you.
I absolutely love that. Now, okay, you've mentioned it twice, judging a book by its cover. We're not supposed to do that, but are we?
I mean, I don't see any problem with seeing a beautiful book cover and then reading the back and seeing if you vibe with it. So
that's true.
Yes,
okay, good.
I'm into that.
No, good, perfect. Okay, and then quickly, recommendations for coming up.
Yes.
You'll talk about next time.
So I want to lighten the mood a little bit myself. if you can't tell, I like reading a lot of different genres, and I like to challenge myself to read genres I don't automatically gravitate toward. So I'm gonna go read a romance novel for sure this month. Coming up, The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. Fun fact, Christina Lauren is two best friends named Christina and Lauren.
No way.
Which is so fun.
Aww.
So from what I can tell on the back of this book, we have a romance novelist who is somehow being brought together with a documentary filmmaker to create a new reality show concept. So that sounds pretty fun.
I like that.
And if anyone out there, you have read The Soulmate Equation by
No.
Christina Lauren, this was another really fun one that I think I listened to this one as well. Really, really fun romance novel. It's actually in the same universe. So this is book 1. This is book 2. I believe they're standalones, but I think we might hopefully revisit some characters from book 1 in this novel.
Oh, Molly, I am so looking forward to hearing how those books are. You have added to my reading list. I am so excited to when you join us again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.